Today we get to speak with Audrey Waldron, and she tells us about how she romances her customers and her clients for her swimwear line. It is a great conversation and how important marketing is to your customers.
Welcome to the It's Better Together podcast, where intelligent conversations turn dreams into action, with hosts Marcy Stout and Allison Nissen. Each episode highlights inspirational women and practical business advice from the Revel Coach Tuesday at 2 live programs. From building a website to securing more clients, we cover topics that are interesting to you.
Hello and welcome to today's Tuesday at 2. We're always glad you're here with an opportunity to get to know one of our new guest speakers. And one of the reasons why my sister Allison and I launched this entire business is we just love learning from other women on how they went from an idea to literally launching a great business. And you're just kind of wanting to hear from her, like what your story is, what gave you the idea, and how did you do it? And today we have Audrey Waldron with us. And she has this dynamic story of building a lifestyle brand, which clearly is no easy feat. And I know many of us women on this call often have like some sort of dream to start some sort of fashion line or something like that. Well, Audrey's an example of somebody that did it. She did it with her company, SheDoesOffical Swimwear. So Audrey, thank you so much for being here and willing to share your story with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be on your show.
Well, there's always so many questions we love to ask our speakers, especially as your story starts to unfold. And one of our favorites is to just ask, share a moment when you went from like this idea of starting a swimsuit company to actually being like, well, maybe I could start it, and kind of walk us back to that moment where you thought, I'm going to go for it.
So I had been a swimwear model, Instagram model, for about a year and a half. And I was a brand ambassador for several companies, and I was making money for these other companies. And so the idea was, well, I can do my own thing. These swimwear are so easy. Like I can totally do my own brand. And so I kind of sat on that. We had a cross country move, and then I launched it 2 months after our move across country, started the marketing side of it, coming up with the name, the idea, and how to proceed from there.
So you're launching your new company and you're thinking you're going for it. What was your biggest like point of inspiration? How did you kind of get yourself inspired to be the person that starts it?
I wanted to create something for my daughters. I have 3 girls, and the idea behind She Does, I wanted to empower my daughters coming behind me, and then also other women who stand with me. And, women deal with a lot of ambiguity. Can we be a mom? Can we be part of the PTA? Can we be working? Can we do all these things? And the answer is yes. Like she can do swim. She does swim. She does sport. She does style. She does sexy. She does nutrition. She does it all. And as women, we wear many hats, and not that men don't, but women, we really just do it, and we take it on, and we make it work. And the inspiration was, I can be a mom. I can be a working mom. I can do PTA, and I can do all these things, and I can be a swimwear model, and I can start my own brand. Yes, I can do it all. So they are my inspiration, the reason why I do it all.
Women do wear a lot of hats, and it's kind of fortunate that we get to choose the hats that we wear. And as women, like part of our whole aura is you can adapt to the hat you're choosing to wear. So whether you're at the PTO or when you're with your business, you get a chance to do that. But was there ever a time where you felt like you were wearing all the hats at the same time and like it was just almost too much? Like the stress started being a little overwhelming?
Oh, yes. All the time, every day. What am I doing today? Am I doing this job or this job? And we've got to run here, and the kids have got to go there. And sometimes it is a little overwhelming. I do get up really early. I get up around 4:30, and I do my workout. I get in my meditation. I get in my me time, and my week's already planned out. I do that on Sundays, so I have to have everything planned out so I know what's coming up, so that I am prepared to handle my kids, my jobs, my life, everything that will come at me, because there's always those emergency things that come up and hit you, because that's life. And so as women, you do try to wear them all. Sometimes I don't wear them all very well. Let's be honest. Am I right? Like sometimes it's a little much, but we do our best as women.
And Audrey, take me back to the very beginning. You're in New York City and you're deciding on what's going to happen. So I imagine, first of all, you are super enthusiastic about maybe even launching. And then what do? You have to go out and find a manufacturer. You have to find a designer. How does all that work?
Yeah, so when I had this idea, where do you begin, right? And so I have a couple friends in different industries who deal with clothes, and so I would just call them. I'm like, so where do I go? And one friend gave me the idea to go to makersrow.com, which isn't a bad website. There's a lot of manufacturers on there, clothing suppliers. I've actually used that website for a lot of things. And I went on just like a discovery trip to New York City. And it's not very far from here. So I booked a flight, flew up in the morning, and just kind of walked around the garment district. And I had Googled a couple manufacturers. And I kind of wanted to start out as an a la carte. I'm going to come here, I'm going to get my fabric, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to get it cut. Then I'm going to come here to the pattern maker, and I'm going to get patterns made. And then I'm going to go over here and get it sized. And then I had to take it here to the manufacturer. That is the most economical way. Now, hindsight, that was just way too much for me with everything else I had going on. So I decided to go with a manufacturer that did everything. You give them your designs and your drawings, and then we do a CAD drawing. And then from there, they do your ordering, your grading, your patterns, your tech packs, your fittings, then to your production. So that was the easiest thing for me, was to go with a one size business. But since COVID, that business has since shut down and pivoted their whole marketing plan, their whole business plan. So they are no longer in business. So I am back into production. I went up to New York a couple weeks ago, and I'm doing the a la carte service, because really that's how the whole industry has shifted with COVID. There's a lot of companies who have shut down, who have pivoted their business plans, and they're no longer doing the full service. You have to go now to, right now I'm at a pattern maker where she's making muslins. And then from there, I have to go find my manufacturer. Well, I found two. Thank goodness they're still in business. And from there, I have to find my fabric, which I have found, to do the small sample run that I want to do. And then, from there. So it is quite the process. You do have to be diligent. You do to put on your CEO hat and be on top of everybody and making sure, you're the bottom line, you know.
And typically, when we hear that a business pivoted in 2020, there usually ends to be a good story from it. Like they grew, they had a growth moment. But with your example, it doesn't sound like a good thing, because now we're back to individuals. Is that because just manufacturing had to really isolate their work?
Well, they're manufacturing. They were a supply chain manufacturer, and so they got a lot of their stuff from overseas. And because everything was so backed up and backlogged because of COVID, their whole business, they couldn't stay open, and because of their pay scale that they paid their employees, they all wanted to stay home and stay on unemployment. So when they asked them to come back, they decided not to come back, that they would rather stay on unemployment. Well, now that they want to get back to work, they're no longer in business. So it was kind of a double-edged sword, having so much unemployment on a lot of people. It closed down a lot of businesses, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see how other companies come out of that.
I know about a year ago, you were getting ready for New York Fashion Week. And this year, there is no New York Fashion Week. So take me back to getting ready to go to New York Fashion Week. I mean, I cannot imagine the cloud nine you were surfing on.
Yes, it was amazing. So I'd launched my brand in October. And unfortunately, the same week my website launched, my husband asked me for a divorce. So that wasn't too fun. And then I got invited to New York Fashion Week. So I was in this big rigmarole of going through a divorce, moving, and then getting invited to New York Fashion Week. So I had on a lot of hats. I had on a lot of stress, but just so much joy, because not very many brands out of the gate get invited to New York Fashion Week to walk. And so I just put my head down. I had to prepare the music, the models, the looks, um, all of it. And I wanted to bring my daughters with me, which hindsight, it was way too much. But they were so excited to see their mom on Walk, New York Fashion Week in my line. And it was a really exciting time. There was um, so much that went into it. You have to choose the models, you have to come up with the looks, and you do the fitting the day before. And in the belly of the beast is what we call it. It wasn't just me, but there was, 30 other brands because you're walking different shows all throughout the day. So you're seeing all these other designers and their designs, and you're just like, oh, that looks amazing. That's so beautiful. And the models, and just being down there, being in it was so incredible. And I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to do it just right out of the gate.
I had an opportunity to see a video from it. Allison had made the branded video
Oh, yeah.
interviews with you. And although it seemed like a lot of work to have your daughters there, I could not imagine a better gift to have your daughter see you go from concept to fashion week all in a really short amount of time, and you just showing like, hey, if you have an idea and you have a dream, like there's nothing better than you going for it. So to teach your daughter that through example and showing it, I can only imagine it was worth every moment of it. They'll never look back, and they'll always have that as a great memory.
For sure. And they knew what I was going through. Our whole family was reeling with the news of the divorce. And so, I wanted to live a brave life for them, to see their mom pick herself up and be like, this is what we're doing. Mommy's still doing this and we're still working, and this is what's happening. So it was really important for me to show them to keep going.
Now that you're entering your season 2, do you also have that imposter hat that we all seem to find every now and then?
Oh, yes and no. I don't know that I have an imposter hat. I have a learning hat. The learning the learning curve is really steep because I am so new, and I cut my teeth really good in the first year walking New York Fashion Week in the first run, and now I'm cutting my teeth a little bit more doing season 2 and doing an a la carte thing, and we'll be doing Miami Swim Week in July, which I'm really excited about. So, not an imposter, but learning as much as I can, as fast as I can, and cutting my teeth with each season and each show that I do.
Do you know what's beautiful about that is how quickly I can see you just having a curious mind, a like going to the fashion week, seeing another swimsuit line, you're like, wow, that's beautiful. And just having admiration towards other brands versus imposter, which creates the jealousy, kind of hiding your brand, your secrets, instead of just like the way I feel your presence is all about just curiosity. Like, I'm in season 2. This is what I know and I want to grow more. And you just ask more questions. And
Yeah.
in my experience, I feel like, especially with female brands, there are a lot of people willing to help and support. And we don't really feel there's total like direct competition. There's more for everyone. So
Yeah.
are you kind of seeing like kind of what I'm assuming your experience was? Is that kind of
Yeah.
resonating with what the real world was like for you?
It is, and I'm so glad you picked up on that. I've connected with some other swimwear brands and other, women brands out there, and we cheer each other on Instagram. Like, we follow each other and we connect with each other and give each other insight as to what shows worked, what shows didn't, what about this person as a model and that person. Like, it's really a collaborative thing, is especially with women who are willing to do so. There are those women who aren't willing to be so open about it, but I've always had the mentality of, I'm no better than you, and you're no better than me, but let's learn and grow together. And if you're willing to share and have that conversation with me, you create, I think, a stronger community. And that's the whole idea behind the brand, is empowerment. And I want to empower myself, but also empower other women who are a part of the brand.
So you're doing everything a la carte for the designing, but then to put together a show. This is, I've never been to a fashion show. I've seen them on TV. That's about the closest I've ever been. And you do have to find the models and decide on the looks. How much time do you spend on that? I mean, how does that actually come together?
It's a lot. And then it's really frustrating when the models don't show, because you have a specific look you wanted for that model. If she had a really androgynous look. I wanted her more of the sporty suit, and I wanted all ethnicities, all sizes. And I know what suits, what sizes I wanted to put on each one. And so you start there, you start with the model and then you build from there. Well, this color will look really good on her and her skin tone, but let's sass it up this way because she looks like she could be a little sassy. Let's do that. Or she was more conservative. Let's put her in the pink with this pink bag and she's more this look. So it does take a while conceptualize, and then you have to go and find, what you want to do to pull the look together. The idea of the swimwear isn't just swimwear. It's, day to night. The suits can actually be worn underneath jeans or a skirt. And I've actually worn the strength out in Vegas with jeans. And I got so many compliments. Like, people are like, is that a bodysuit? And I'm like, no, it's my swimsuit. Like, it was really, really cool to have that feedback from people to see it out. Like, they thought it was really cool. And it is meant to be worn day to night. And it is kind of a whole look. The night before the show, the ombre, my design director, Grant. Oh, sorry, that's my Doberman. Play.
I thought that was my dog.
No, that's mine. He sees a squirrel. Sorry, we are Zooming at home during quarantine, so apologize for that. He sewed the night before a shawl to go with it, and I brought a hat, and the look just came together. And as she walked the runway, I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. So it was very collaborative, putting the looks together. It's not just meant to be a bathing suit.
So if I understand it right, because I love this conversation because it's so new to me. But you have an idea of the swimsuit models, what they're going to look like. I'm sure you have like the music and all that stuff. You show up and some models are there and some models aren't there. But no matter what, there's like kind of a scramble where you're shopping real quick for accessories to kind of find the right.
Yes, shopping for accessories and models and trying to throw it together. Yes.
Well, that's fun. Amazing.
That whirl of chaos that's what it is, right? This whirl of chaos is just there, but it all comes together, and then you have this amazing moment, and you get to walk out on the stage right after your models, which is an unbelievable, incredible feat. And for that, we are just super proud of you and for you. And I know that you're getting ready for Miami, so do you have the ability to give us any hints about how you might have changed things for season 2?
Yes, I've learned so much. So season 2, we're able to do 15 looks, and with season 1, we were only able to do 10 looks. So I'm in production doing just a small sample run for season 2 because I have a couple friends in the industry, and the big box stores like Banana Republic or Gap boxed all of their designs for 2020 and saving it for 2021. Well, I took that inspiration or that insight from them, and I didn't do a lot in 2020, which I feel like really shot me in the foot because we really should have been down designing in 2020. But I figured, well, if the big box people aren't, then I'm not going to. I'm going to, just kind of keep doing my thing. So I should have listened to my gut in that one. I should have kept designing in 2020, but I don't think anybody really knew where the chips were going to fall, what was going to happen when everything was going to be lifted and things like that. But we are back into designing the next season. So we'll have a sprinkle of the first season, and then we're going to have season 2, which I'm doing a small, not a huge collection like I did the first time, but a smaller collection this time. It'll be 3 suits, 2 colorways, so 6 that will walk with the additional ones from season 1 for a total of 15. So you won't see every suit from season 1, but the best of the best, I think.
That's awesome. And when you're thinking of your season design, I know you said from 1 to 2, like how far out do you kind of have to go? Is it really just one season at a time?
It really is. It's about 6 months. Conceptually, when you think of it, it's about a year. Conceptually, head to paper to patterns to muslin to samples to fittings to production, it is about a year. And I did start with swim because that's what I knew. I knew the cut, the fill, the fabric. I know what looks good on a woman. I know what will be flattering. And so I did start with swim, though I do have ideas for She Does Fitness. I did launch a quarantine-friendly fitness program where you don't need any gym equipment. You can do everything from home. But I do have ideas for other stuff in the fitness world, though. I haven't started any of that, but there's more like she does sexy and things like that. But I have just stuck with swims, sticking with my core that I know until I can build that and create more.
Wait, so tell us more about that. So you have your, obviously, the product, the swim, and then you're trying to create a little bit more lifestyle component with a new line of business.
Yes, yeah. So the idea is to be a lifestyle brand and not just swim, but a place where women can come and be inspired. So on the website, there is a blog section where I have a few blogs up there. I mean, it's probably less than 10, but it's meant to fill in what's coming up this season, industry trends and fashion trends and, self-love and empowerment and things like that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. All right, so tell us more. I see that there's a box in the background. So is that your
Oh,
package? When they,
this is the packaging. So my idea behind a brand and behind She Does is empowerment. And when you think about empowerment, you know, how do you empower somebody through swimwear, right? It's kind of how I began with the whole marketing scheme. And I spent almost a year trying to decide how I was going to empower women through swimwear. And a brand isn't just a product, it's a relationship. The swoosh on the Nike shoe isn't just the swoosh. The emblem on the Gucci belt isn't just the emblem. It's a brand is a romantic relationship you have with your buyers, and it's a long-term relationship, and it's the way it makes you feel, like your favorite brand. Marcy, what's your favorite brand?
I love Lululemon.
Okay, so how does it make you feel?
I mean, just healthy.
It makes you feel healthy, and how does it make you feel healthy? Can you put a description on that?
Well, I feel like I mean, this is obviously not a Lululemon. We are not sponsored by Lululemon. But no, I do feel like it's just really comfortable that you can wear it, to work out or the grocery store. So it just is like a symbol of I'm really comfortable working out and I really enjoy. I'm not like hiding my workout.
Yeah. So with a brand, I have to wine and dine you. I have to make you fall in love with me as a brand. And part of that, I wanted to start with the packaging. When you get something in the mail, I just didn't want to come in a cellophane bag. I wanted it to be beautiful, that when you open it, you feel special. So this is the box. I spent a long time designing this. When you open it up, can you read that? Get ready to turn some heads. And then you open it up. Try me on already. And then it opens again to the packaging. So you have this, and then you have a thank you card. It's almost always handwritten by myself. And then here's the suit inside here. But I wanted it to be a beautiful thing as you're opening it up, that it feels like a gift, like I'm wining and dining you, like I'm starting a relationship with you. Like I want you to feel special when you try this on. When you open this up, you're like, oh my gosh, I love the look, the feel of the fabric. I'm going to feel so sexy in this. What does this say? Don't talk about it, be about it. Okay. Then you're going to want to go try it on. So it is a whole relationship when you build the brand. I want to win you over. And this begins a long-term relationship with any brand. Say you order something in the mail and it comes in a cellophane bag. And you're like, you just rip it open, you get rid of the packaging, and you kind of like it. But really, did you feel really wined and dined? Did you feel really special? Are you really going to be loyal to that brand? Maybe, maybe not. But I really wanted to start here with the packaging because we are e-commerce. I am in a couple pop-up shops and a couple businesses locally, but really I wanted to wine and dine the customer to begin with and create that brand loyalty in the marketing and empower women from the get-go with that, with the messaging on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else. All of the taglines and everything are about empowering women, and they're meant to be. So
This is such an interesting conversation about marketing and about relationships. And I have actually learned a lot just listening to it. I love the concept of the romantic relationship. I have to wine and dine you.
but it
But
is so.
making your client, your customer feel special and wanted
Mm-hmm.
And it just really elevates the idea that it's not just something out there. It's the idea of really building that relationship.
Yeah, that brand loyalty. Like when you go shopping, you have your favorite stores, right? Or when you get something in the mail from them, you want to unwrap it and, oh, that's so beautifully wrapped and presented, and then creates that brand loyalty. So when you go out and you're like, I want to go to that store because you loved how it came in the mail. Or when you're at the store, you love the smell or how it makes you feel. That is really creating that brand loyalty. And that's why I wanted to begin with the whole marketing sense of it and the empowerment part, because I want women to be like, yeah, I'm ready to turn some heads. Yeah, I feel empowered in this suit. This feels really good against my skin. I want to keep this on all day, like your Lululemon. Like I went into a lot of R&D with the fabric. I just didn't want any run-of-the-mill poly spandex, blend. There's a lot out there. There's a lot to choose from. Some of it's scratchy. Some of it doesn't feel so good. Some of the stitching on some of the suits doesn't feel so great. So I knew going into manufacturing and production, I knew the fabric I wanted. I knew the stitching I wanted because I know how it feels against your skin. I knew I wanted a certain liner because I didn't want the cheap liner because that doesn't make you feel sexy or empowered, right? So there's a lot that went into just the suit and the packaging alone to create that brand loyalty from the very beginning. And I don't know that anybody would even think about that as they just purchase one. They might just be like, oh, this is kind of cool, but I'm working on you.
I love that. I had been working with Apple for a while and working with their, as they were selling the iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a full research project on how long it should take for when you get a new iPhone. And when you're opening it up, it's like a suction. It
Yes.
doesn't, you can't just lift it out. So they had a full research team figure out how many seconds to open that it creates like a yearning or it creates like a level of excitement. Like you have to wait a little bit like this morning versus frustration. So it was like 4.5 seconds, they'd be frustrated, like, why is it not opening? But like 2 seconds was a sweet spot that people were like, oh my gosh, I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it. So it was,
my goodness.
I'm sure their research was, teens and millions of dollars. But what I love most about your packaging, first of all, it's beautiful, like the interior, but
Yes.
I love the little messages that you have. And it just shows like your level of gratitude with a personal note, your level of empowerment. And it's just so much more than a swimsuit. There aren't many women that put on a swimsuit and like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Exactly.
So having that type of encouragement is awesome.
The bottom says, stay sexy, girl.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So
it's like going into one of those stores where they have a mirror angle just so that whenever you try anything on, it's fantastic. So when you go home, you're going to feel great wearing it, even if the mirror was a little deceptive.
Right.
Oh, well, Audrey, you are amazing. And we're so impressed by your story and your journey of launching something and doing it so quickly with such like a clear vision of how you're going to empower women through swimsuit and swimwear. If anybody wants to get in touch with you or learn more about your swimsuit line, can you tell us how they can get in touch with you?
Yes, we are on almost all social media platforms. Instagram, SheDoesOffical. Facebook, SheDoesOffical. And on the internet, SheDoesOfficial.com and SheDoesFitness.com. And then my email is Audrey@SheDoesOfficial.com. So
that's so easy. Very streamlined. Very good. Audrey Waldron, thank you so much for stopping by Tuesday at 2.
Thank you, Allison and Marcy. So good to meet you guys and have a chat.
Audrey, thank you so much for being with us today. That was a fantastic conversation. We're so inspired by your journey, and we just wish you the best luck for season 2, season 3, and the list will continue to go on. So thank you for being with us, and have a great Tuesday.
Bye.
To watch a live Tuesday at 2 program with Revel Coach, visit us at revelcoach.com. Until next time.